Welcome back to the North Country Gentleman. So tonight's video is actually going to be part of the Cooking with Bear series, but this is a little different because I want to just talk about a few techniques. 10 of them specifically. They're, hacks that will make your kitchen projects come along much more efficiently. These are really basic skills that everybody should know how to do. And if you can get a handle on these, then that'll make everything come out so much better for you. We're going to start with pasta. So, hack number 1. Always undercook your pasta. I don't mean like al dente, I mean it's undercooked. Alright? And then strain your pasta and finish your pasta in your sauce. So if you're using very little sauce or very light sauce, you want to cook it a little bit more to like just a little bit before al dente. Al dente just means it's got a little bit of bite to it when you bite down. And then finish it in your sauce. Alright? What happens with this is as your pasta finishes cooking, it starts absorbing some of that sauce. So as opposed to just being coated in it, it actually carries the flavor all the way through. So that's hack number 1. Hack number 2, also pasta. So it's important with any sauce because all of the sauces are going to contain some sort of fat, okay? It's pasta sauces. Some of them are going to contain more fats than others, like carbonara or really any of your butter-based sauces. So what you want to do, even with tomato sauce, is when you're straining your pasta, you want to reserve about a tablespoon of your pasta water, okay? Because you have all of these starches that are going to be floating in that water that will help bind and pull that sauce together and make it creamier, richer, and just gives it a much better mouth feel. Okay, so this is the difference between a pretty good pasta and a pretty good pasta sauce and a really awesome pasta and pasta sauce. And it doesn't matter if it's scratch made or out of a jar. Just reserve yourself about a tablespoon of that pasta water, put it in with your pasta sauce and your pasta while you're finishing it. So that's hack number 2. We're going to move on to hard-boiled eggs, because hard-boiled eggs are one of those things that should be really, really simple, but everybody has a problem with. I mean, everybody. It's very hard for a lot of people to get like that perfect hard-boiled egg. So part of the issue, I'm not even going to touch on cooking them right now, just the peeling. All right, if you use hyper fresh eggs, okay, there's this little protein sac inside the egg. That's going to, with really, really fresh eggs, it hasn't started separating from the shell much. So when you cook them and you go to crack them, the shell sticks. All right, so older eggs will actually give you a better hard-boiled egg. I don't mean like old to the point where they're spoiled, but I mean where they are not super, super fresh anymore. That'll give you a better hard-boiled egg. While you're cooking your hard-boiled eggs, before you put them in the water, put in about a tablespoon, maybe 2 tablespoons of white vinegar. It'll also help making peel them a lot easier. Okay, so that's kitchen hack 3 and kitchen hack 4, all right? Kitchen hack 5 is also an egg-related hack. When you have cooled them completely and you're ready to start peeling, while they're cooling, lightly crack all the shells and then let them sit in your water to cool, right? When you start peeling, do it in a bowl of water or under running water. It helps pull the shell away from the egg and makes them peel so much easier. So it makes them peel so much easier. So that's hack number 5. Hack number 6. It doesn't matter what your protein is, chicken, fish, pork, beef, lamb, it makes no difference, right? Before you put it in a hot pan, you want to set it on the counter and let it come up to room temperature, okay? Because what happens when you take cold meat and you hit it in a hot pan is it shocks those fibers in that meat and makes them tense up. So you can take a really tender cut of meat and make it much tougher and chewier. So that's a thing to avoid. Just cook your proteins at room temperature. So that was hack number 6. We're on to hack number 7. When your meat is done cooking, okay, you've exposed it to a bunch of heat and you've really put a lot of strain on those fibers that make up your meat. And what's happened is that it's kind of pulled and it squeezed a lot of the moisture out of the meat. So when you're done cooking, take it out of the pan, put it on a plate, tent it with aluminum foil, and let it rest. 5 to 10 minutes for anything small, up to 15 for like roasts, chickens, whole chickens, things like that. All right. What's going to happen is keeping that aluminum foil on there will keep the food hot, or at a servable temperature, but those fibers are going to start to, those protein strands are going to start to relax, and it will actually pull some of that moisture back in, and your meat won't be as dry, and it'll also be more tender and have a better mouthfeel. All right, so that's hack 7. Hack 8. Hack 8. Before you marinate your meat, okay, unless you're doing an incredibly long-term marinade, your marinade penetration is maybe a 1/4 inch, all right? And if you're using a marinade with a high acidity, which is a lot of marinades, if you leave meat in them for too long, the acids actually start to cook and break down the meat. Sometimes that's a thing you want, but sometimes if you leave it for too long, you end up with like a soft, mushy mouthfeel to your meat. So you don't want that. What you want to do is you want to maximize your flavor penetration, and you do this by taking a sharp knife and about every 1/2 inch to inch scoring your piece of meat with it. All right, maybe a 1/4 inch deep, maybe a little less. Some things, you use your judgment. If it's a thin cut of meat, don't cut all the way through it. Just put some score marks into it, all right? It should fold open a little bit. Now marinate your meat because it gives it more surface area and allows for deeper penetration. So that was hack number 8. Hack number 9. Hack number 9. If you are going to do anything with a bone or a larger cut, like a full-size roast or something like that, get yourself a meat marinade injector. You want the syringe variety for home use. It's just a lot easier. There are bigger and fancier versions out there, but a lot of that is meant for either use in a restaurant or like competitive barbecue cooking, okay? But with a meat injector, you can get into the center of your cut of meat and get the marinade in, so now it's seeping from 2 different directions. You're going to get a better flavor penetration. And if you're cooking something with a bone, you use that injector to get your marinade in right next to the bone. And this will give you a much better flavor penetration throughout the whole piece, all right? That was hack number 9. This is a simple one. This is something that should be common sense, okay? In the culinary world, it's called mise en place, or as we like to call it, mess in place. All it means is before you start making something, figure out what all of the ingredients are that you need, measure them, and prep them ahead of time. Have them all arranged and ready to go so that when you start cooking, your cooking is going to go simply, quickly, and efficiently, and you're not going to run the risk of ruining something because you're looking around for an ingredient while something's burning to a pan, or, I don't know, your bread's overproofing, or what have you. All right, it just makes things much faster, much easier, and so much less of a headache. So prep everything ahead of time that you can prep, all right? And that was hack number 10. So in the next video, we're going to make scones, and I will demo that whole, have everything prepped ahead of time. If you've watched any of my other cooking videos, you'll see that all of my ingredients are laid out ahead of time, and it's not just because I want to show you what goes into it. It's also to make my life simpler. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, like and subscribe. Please share with your friends. I really appreciate it. We're over 60 subscribers now, which means we're closing in on that 100 subscriber giveaway very quickly. If you haven't already, go to my 100 subscriber giveaway video. I'll put a link in the description. Go to that video, like, comment, share, and get yourself into the drawing for my 100 subscriber giveaway. All right? And have yourself a wonderful evening. Thank you for joining me. Have a good night, and I'll see you next time. Bye.